Okay, good morning. Today I'm about to go on a longish bike ride with the Annerley Bicycle Club, and this one is 45 miles or 72k approximately, and it's called the Chiddingstone Ride, I believe, something like that. I'll bash that up in the description. Anyway, so it goes out sort of towards Sevenoaks, but we're going to go through Biggin Hill, Westerham, Edenbridge, coming back through Oxted and Caterham. So it should be a nice ride today, and it's the first ride where I'm going to check out my new cockpit. So this is a little upgrade that was done by a local bike shop, so I like to support independent local bike shops. So that was Wallington Cycles. So yeah, I'd like to see how that goes. So I've made it a little bit narrower and a little bit lower at the front and a little bit shorter, because I had a bit of a crazy bar and stem on there before, but got about 10 years ago. So this bike is 13 years old, as I've mentioned before, but yeah, just little upgrades here and there just to keep me motivated and interested. Anyway, I'm not going to make a long video on this one, and I'm not going to film the whole ride. I'm just going to film every now and again when something looks nice. So yeah, hopefully it'll be an okay watch. All right, catch you in a bit. Good afternoon. I'm back from my group ride, and well, in fact I've done two group rides. I'm saying this weekend. Actually, one was on Friday and one was today, Sunday. And Friday was 45 miles and today was 37. And I just wanted to reflect on a few things. So first of all, doing 82 miles in 3 days is quite an achievement, but been building up to it gradually. So I talk about lots of different rides, and I also talk about working to your current level and, you know, making goals around your current level. So not talking about going from 0 to 82 miles in a week, but I've been training quite hard over this year mainly, keeping my fitness up over the winter and training hard since January, since I started this channel, really picking things up. But I wanted to reflect on how important it is to find if you're joining a group ride, to find one that is accessible, so one that's suited to your current needs. And I've been riding on those shorter rides with the social cycling group, excuse me, doing anything from 15 to 30 miles, and again for all abilities. And those kind of conversational rides are really good to kind of gradually build up your fitness. But definitely feeling like with all the training I've been doing, that I'm getting physically fitter, and my mind is nice and positive and feeling very fit as well. And both of the groups that I'm a member of, so we've got a social cycling community and a more serious bicycle club, and both of them have a no drop policy, which I think is really good, so that you can ride at a pace that suits you, build your fitness up. So on the second group, I'm probably riding with people that are generally, the group leaders are definitely fitter than me, and a lot of the members are fitter than me. So I'm finding it comfortably challenging. And if we get to the top of the hill and someone's waited a few seconds or a minute for me, no one's going to complain. They're just asking, "Are you okay? You good to go? Do you want a breather?" And I think that's good. I think you need that. You need that feeling of support. So the ride leaders being very supportive. And if you are fitter, when you get to the stage where, for example, on Sunday, I may have been a bit fitter than some of the members on my group, I'm really happy now to be one of the supportive people. So there's nothing worse than feeling like you're holding people back, or people are uncomfortable because you're around, and vice versa. So I've found that on both groups, everyone's been really supportive, and I got a chance to be really supportive today, and it was a pleasure. And on that note, the ride leader, Asif, when he published on, there's like a register that you can access. Once you're a member of the group, you can access a register to see who's publishing rides. And it was really heartwarming to see that when he published the ride, there was a few people that I hadn't met before that were very excited to put their names down. And even on the day of the ride, as we turned up to the meeting point, more people were turning up. And I thought that was great. And there was someone that was recovering from injury, and I had the pleasure of riding with that person at the back of the group while they were supporting a knee injury. And I discovered that they were 20 years older than me, and I'm no spring chicken. And we were talking about knee injuries, because this fella had a knee injury, and I've had knee surgery before and knee injuries. And I was thinking that, initially was his age holding him back, but no, he was like a cross-country skier, and it was only really a meniscus tear that was holding him back on this ride. So it's really interesting. So as I was kind of spotting at the back and just holding back with the slowest rider on the day, and that changed as we kind of circulated. It was really interesting getting a chance to speak to people. So I really enjoyed that. But yeah, big shout out to Asif that made that group ride so accessible for people that maybe hadn't ridden much this year, but they saw his name and were just like, yes, I've got to join that ride. So I was really impressed with that. Now what else? So I had a new bar and stem fitted to my bike, so a nice cheap upgrade where I kind of needed it. So it wasn't just a case of upgrading for the sake of it. The old bar, which I bought on a whim about 10 years ago, so after my bike was about 3 years old, I bought a carbon one-piece bar and stem because it looked pretty cool, and it was in the sale, and I had a bike shop that was going to fit it while they were doing a service for me. But as I've been going on longer rides, I found that actually it was a really bad fit for me. It was a bit too wide and too long. So it was 44 centimeters wide and about 14 centimeters long. But also had a bit of an incline in the stem. So I went to, I've been looking into stems and decided that I want a narrower bar. So I've gone for a 38-inch width. I think I've gone for a 10 centimeter reach, but lower. So I've gone for a negative dip at the front. So I'm comfortable having a lower position. I'm quite flexible, but I wanted something to match my kind of shoulder width really, and not be overreaching, but still be a bit lower and a bit more aero at the front. And yeah, so this weekend was the first time I've used it, and it was perfect. So I'm really happy with that fit. And I'm looking for a few different things coming up. So there's a couple of things coming up. I'm going to be reviewing, once it's been delivered, my new chain waxing kit. So I mentioned I was looking at 2 different brands, or looking at a kind of do-it-yourself kit where you can just melt wax in like any old wax melting kit, and which is fine. Buying bicycle specific wax, melting it in the same melting pot that you would melt leg waxing wax in, and then doing the right thing. So you can use that. There's definitely nothing wrong with that. You've just got to be a bit more careful with temperature and timings. You don't want to burn the wax, you don't want to leave things in too long, you don't want to take them out too quick. But I've decided to buy a kit that is bicycle specific, and it's got timers, and it's convenient for waxing more than one chain at a time. So I want to rotate them. So as soon as that gets here, I'm going to review that. No sponsorship, no paid partnerships or anything, just my take on it, and just to see if it's interesting really. And the other thing I'm doing, which is going to take a bit longer, is I'm buying parts to build a gravel bike. And I'm not going to put it together, I'm going to get the bike shop to put it together. So I've been using Wallington Cycles, which are an independent bike shop near me, and lots of people from Annerley Bicycle Club recommended them and used them, and I'm glad I found them as well. So I've got a few bits. I've got a partial group set, I've got my wheels, I've got my tyres, but I haven't got the frame. I'm buying a new frame coming from China, and I will need some other components like a cassette, rotors, disc rotors, crank arms, and so on. So there's a few bits I'm waiting for. So I don't know how much I'll be able to film of that bike build, because as I said, I'm not doing it, but I'll definitely be able to show you the finished product and tell you how good I think it is. Anyway, so that was just me reflecting on a weekend of riding and just how much I'm enjoying group rides really. I still do like doing stuff on my own, so I haven't been on many rides on my own, but I'm running on my own, and I'm finding that quite good for a bit more of a meditative kind of solitude type physical and mental activity, and I get that from walking as well, and from yoga. So when I go to the gym, I tend to have headphones on and maybe a cap, and keep very much to myself. I don't chat to anyone at the gym deliberately, and I always finish my workout with a stretch. So I'm going to the gym quite a lot at the moment, but I'm not always lifting weights. Sometimes I go there just after a ride so that I can enjoy the walk there, have a bit of time on my own, and then do a few light weights, but mainly weights that will stretch me out, like lat pull down, where I'm kind of pulling my arms down, stretching my spine back out, and then finishing off with quite a deep stretch. So that's quite good for doing stuff on my own. Some of the things that Asif and I might do as well, when we're talking about riding to the group pace, on the social cycling rides, we probably wouldn't find just the rides on their own much of a workout. So quite often we'll ride a bit further to get to the start point and ride a bit further at the end. So that's quite a nice thing you can do on a no drop ride, sticking with all your ride buddies, not making anyone feel like their fitness level is a problem, and then doing a bit of riding before or after. So while I'm at the stage now being fitter than some of my ride buddies, then that's something I can easily do whilst still being really supportive of everyone on the ride. So yeah, just food for thought on that really. So that was it, just a little catch up, really short cycling video. So not one where we're kind of covering where I've been and so on. This is just a few little clips. I've got longer footage which I might use on another video later on, but this, I just wanted to get this out nice and quickly. All right, so that's it for now. Have a nice day.